even though that overtime was some of the most chaotic Counter-Strike I've seen in a hot minute, it was still fun, and we still got to see some of these individuals shine. And I want to see, again, what they can bring. Onto Anubis, right? We got to see it yesterday. And we got to see a fairly decent showing from Monte in the mid-round. So can we see that again? Legacy, what have they learned from yesterday's showing?
Yeah, going to be tough here. I think the one thing that stands out for me in terms of the veto is that Mirage pick from Monte. Feels like they maybe could have gone for a different map in there, but maybe they've seen something in the game. It's just that perma pick though,
isn't it, right? It's like that confidence, play for myself type vibe.
Either way, we're in onto the A-bomb site here, quite quickly in fact, and the Glocks closing the gaps, finding the heads. Down to just 2 here for Legacy. Dumal left pretty low. I don't know that you can really give this a go, in all honesty. Bartan trying to maybe catch someone lurking around outside, not going to happen for him, so he still feels pretty into the idea of going for this, but I can tell you the round is definitely over, and yeah, triple peaked is enough to see him off.
He unfortunately made a little bit of noise jumping down into the wood there, so that just completely sells his like little mini ruse. I'm quite interested in this Ancient though, as a decider. If it's needed, it does for me, even though stats-wise looks decent for Legacy. Like I said, pinch of salt there with North American sides that they're facing. Monte are actually on a 7-map win streak there, so it's been very good for them, and there's a couple of pretty scary Tier 2 sides who have been scalped along the way. So keep an eye out for that. If we do get towards that 3rd map, that's definitely something to mention. But when we look at this veto as a whole, there's actually not a bad chance here of a 2-0, technically both ways, right? Both teams can make a fairly good argument for it. For this Legacy side, of course, they've had very good reps under their belt on Anubis. They've looked quite good in it. They've picked into it here as well with that CT start. But as we saw yesterday, Monte can take wins on both Anubis and the Mirage. And Mirage in particular is one for them that they've always been trying to make as a real strong part of their pool. So a pistol taken for Monte to start things off. No force buy for Legacy. So we'll just be a little bit of a tapered round here, but we don't really expect all too much. But as you know, Scriv, I'm pretty happy not to see the force buys.
Yes, that is true. That is true. I think particularly on this CT side, the success of them, the consequences of going for it as well, really doesn't bode too well. And I like the idea of a stack. This, for me, is exactly what you should be doing in this kind of a round. Unfortunately, they've read into it quite well. It's a nice smoke from the T side to just give them the lurking presence, the info plays. Okay, looking for a way back in. Does lose his head, only on that Mac 10. He spotted out the final 2 players, so should be fine here for Monte. Just get the plan. Oh, faking it out even. All right, so they're playing very, very by the book here. Very disciplined on that Monte side, considering it was 2 USPs.
Yeah.
They had to fend off against though.
I can respect it. You know, don't take any risks. At least that's a good thing going for the future. Just saying, you know, this side are showing a lot of respect over. And we'll see whether that works in their favor. When the guns come out now, of course, for Legacy, this can be a quite an important round. If we can see Legacy respond really well on towards the CT side to kickstart their gun rounds, then we got a competition here. But we know that Monte are a side that, especially on this map, can spiral really well. Let's see what they got for us. Sadzin out in towards the orb. No armor is one to mention for him. Nade stack on towards Neckers, so he doesn't even really get a look in. And Dumal takes a tag of the molly, which cost him his life as it gives K the idea of where to peek.
Very cheeky play here from Monte. I love to see it early on in the game. Why not go for something unconventional? Never going to expect the nade stack. You know, that always feels like the type of round you pull out when you've lost 3 or 4 in a row and you're a little desperate for some kind of an opening kill. So very cool to see. Definitely not hammered in just yet. Barton with a nice push, a nice find. As you see, these HP bars so low. So definitely could swing. They've got the right read here on the setup as well. 2 towards B. Looks like that's where the bomb wants to go. A well-placed nade at range. Yeah, could make all the difference. The swing from Barton lets him down, unfortunately. So for a brief moment, things were even, but may well have fallen by the wayside. They know that there's another presence here on B. Lato going to have to do God's work. Unfortunately, cannot. So it's all down to Sadzin, highlighted by Alan. Let's see what he's got for us in the 1 versus 2. He creeps through the smoke. When would the AWPer ever do that, I suppose? Hades gets that bomb down and also goes for a creep around, change up. This is unpredictable. Hades playing far away from the bomb, knows that in a round like this, because of the AWP presence, he is unlikely to have a kit, unlikely to have utility. It's a full spend for this, but he still hits the shot nonetheless. Sadzin going to get it, a little excited, remembers he's got to defuse the bomb, and a big clutch up from the young gun.
Yeah, massive work from him as well on that 1 versus 2. I think with Demka, he just gets caught off guard there, but in the same way, who's expecting a push through the smoke like that? That's such a risky call, and it's one of those that, you know, you can maybe even say like 8 out of 10 times doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Pushing through a smoke, trying to get timing, catches one back turn just as he starts focusing attention over towards water, and then just clears all the angles. Really well done to recover there. It has to be said for Legacy. And after mention again, Sadzin doing that and having that level of confidence in this round with no armor is kind of insane. So I'm glad things work out for him. And now it will give Legacy something to work with. Of course, a bomb plan does facilitate an investment coming through for Monte. It's not the end of the world for them. D are down to just a Tech 9, but for the most part, you get AKs across the board. Full belts are util, so absolutely fine in that sense, where it's pretty expensive over on the other side. So we do see the MP9 have to come through, the FAMAS as well for Barton. And while it's all good that Legacy found that first round, that was technically a bonus buy for Monte. If Monte just respond well here, and with how much they've had to kind of force Legacy into a reinvestment, you can break their economy so quickly.
Certainly is possible. Boost up over the smoke. I saw this quite a bit yesterday, in fact, from both teams that we had out on this map. Monte. But we'll see. Legacy trying to, again, find a way into the round, not play from the back foot. It's a difficult kind of position to work from. Slow encroachment here from Monte. A lot of mid-control coming in, though.
Sadzin, he's posted 40 seconds. You gotta make a decision. And they're actually now smoking off over towards A as a potential to wrap B. And this will nullify Sadzin completely. He was probably expecting the fight there. Will they be expecting the CT player? Yes, they are. Krasner, what a shot. Rips Lato's head off. And now this gives them space to work with. And look at the angles they can come from. 3 different fights they can basically take. 4 if you can count Hades as well. This is a masterful wrap on towards this B site. Legacy had no chance. They were actually fighting a war on 4 fronts there. There's just no way they're overcoming Monte in that sense. And losing only 1 casualty so far, that's really not a bad round at all. Sadzin do mal, but you got to save.
Yeah, Monte not pulling any punches really, I think, is one of the key things here. And we saw with the nade round, we saw in this round, I think they're going quite deep into the strat book quite quickly, you know, and really just throwing Legacy for a loop, maybe hoping that these are rounds that the honorable North Americans, you know, haven't really seen out in their domestic play. And it certainly looks to be the case. Legacy getting caught off by quite a number of the pocket strats from Monte. So very good to see early on in the game. And they have to keep this up now. Legacy managed to save a couple, not a heavy hunt from the Polish contingent. We are led to believe Demka's put it in the work in that sense. So maybe give it another 6 months. You never know. He might have himself a citizenship.
Yeah, from the understanding, you know, Hades in an interview yesterday, he's saying kind of 80 to 90% of what they say he understands, which is pretty incredible, actually, for sort of how... I feel like this sort of came out of left field in a way that, okay, we're going to completely change up 180 on this team, going towards a kind of full Polish lineup, and he's got the decision of, do I stay and then learn Polish, or do I leave and try and find another team? And he stayed, and he's done really well. Oh, that's unfortunate. In a way, the Molotov actually saves Krasnal by fortune there. Same can't be said for Dia. He will fall to the hands of Sadzin. Krasnal's quite lucky. That Molotov, which wasn't even meant to do that, banks back and means that Legacy can't swing.
Dihar going down early, of course, never good. But yesterday, he looked fantastic in that B main holding spot. Good number of rounds out from him that looked clean. And the rest of Monte also faltering here. Krasnal left very, very low. Still is doable. Yeah, the nades here have been shaky, to say the least. Trying to overwhelm with the numbers, distract away, get those rifles in play. Very well done, though, by the Monte side to just slowly edge forward. Demka, in particular, with a big 3K to pull the round back. Dumal moves off. He's still sticking around, but I think, you know, maybe we'd stay safe, but they are buying into the next. So I do get it. Unfortunately, does not have the drop there to make anything happen. So really nicely done. Monte will stave that one off. That looked pretty scary, actually. 5v3 with a player on, you know, paper-thin HP.
It was actually a really good recovery from that 5 vs 3. Like you mentioned, because of Krasnol's really low HP in that spot, it was actually feeling just a little shaky, but they do well. Isolate fights very, very effectively. Make sure the advantages aren't given towards Monte. Don't, to Legacy, may I say, don't give them the space in towards the site. And in doing so, we will see ourselves roll the first attack pause here. And probably primarily a bit of a spot here where Chucky can enter in towards the mic and kind of see what he's seen so far. You know, you were touching on it saying, Monte have been using quite a lot of the strat book early here, which I'm a fan of. This is not their map pick. They had a relatively shaky showing. You know, OOT yesterday, of course, against MIBR, but got the win in the end. I'm sure they want to avoid that. And especially since they put up that 9-3 half to start things off, they definitely don't want to go back into what we saw then, which is, you know, they went 9-3 up and then very, very close to losing in regulation, then losing it in overtime #1 as well. So much pressure on their shoulders. They want to avoid all of that and leave no question marks above this series, especially heading in towards their own map pick. Demka is going quick. That nade will do a fair decent amount of damage, and a Molotov behind it as well. Continues to tick on towards Barton. He struggles to get away from the flames, and he's down to 35.
Yeah, maybe a double Molotov going in potentially. I'm not quite sure. It spread quite far, didn't it?
Good spam.
Really well played. A lot of early damage coming in here. What are their game plans? Got to be careful. Dihar was inside that smoke with the bomb in hand, so certainly could have dropped that early on, but doesn't happen. We back off. We slow down. Really, really important round here in terms of the life cycle of that CT side in particular, so you can kind of feel that they are trying to make sharp decisions, and this is one of them. Yeah, maybe even, you'd argue, completely pulling away from B. If the bomb ends B, I don't think that Barton's going to be able to do anything to stop them, and it might just end up being a full save.
I think you're right. This is a gamble in which, if it goes south and if the bomb goes down towards B, we're not giving this a go here. We're just going to pull away. If Barton can maybe do something to try and deny, there might be a chance. I mean, they are actually now pulling Lato back over, and Sads is not too far away. There's a bit of a flank coming through as well. Hades having a bit of trouble there, but he will get a second time of asking before he then gets traded. But I still think we're not giving this a go. Legacy, 3 players staying alive, does actually mean with loss bonus and reinvestment in towards the next round. If they don't, and if even one more was to fall, especially if it's like Lato who's so low, it would all be for nothing. So another good round for Monte. Patience of virtue for them, as we saw time and time again yesterday. And I think the big thing as well is what we saw with Monte. They're very good at, once they make their initial plan, to call out a spawn from whatever Hades decides. And even whether it's successful or not, they're very good at just calling a pause and then reassessing the situation. Saying, right, do we have the advantages here? Should we wait? Should we bet up at a Utah? What's the presence we've seen elsewhere? And this is how Monte really chip away at sides, and what makes them actually quite tough to play against, especially as we've seen so far this tournament. MIBR had their problems yesterday, and Legacy are facing some of them now. Painter, of course, they were absolutely fine against Monte, a 13-9 there. But their Brazilian comrades as well over here in Group B. Monte's made light work out of MIBR and is not breaking too much of a sweat here against Legacy on their map pick early in this series. Never what you want to see. We know how good their Mirage can be.
Yeah, I think a particular angle that we've maybe not taken too much with Monte is the fact that we are playing in Poland. We are playing in the historic city of Katowice, right? And obviously the sort of main core of this team did very, very well out at Katowice. So, you know, I think that IM rather than EC. But all the same, I think it is something that will, A, help them out. They potentially get to go home, you know, or not far away.
Well, was it D-Hill lives around the corner?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that is something I think that's really going to be playing on the minds. Doom out, traded quickly, and it's a good job that he was, again, well contained by Monte there. Still, the fact that he's so far forwards, it gives a lot of information. They can't go rushing into a bomb site quite yet.
Demka playing anti. Waiting for his chance as well. We're inside of that minute mark now. And the decision got to be made. It looks like a finish towards A. And there's 2-3 in a loose way of players in this direction. Lato's not too far away in rotations, but Nekis has probably got to go at least 1 for 1. If he goes down early, it does make it very awkward. Flash over won't affect Nekkers at all. He gets a good flash, and that'll give him a freebie of 1 and 2. Demka and K both get dropped, and Hades and Dia got a tough decision to now make of, do we actually even give this a go? And it feels like Hades might be actually just pulling them back for a quick run over towards B. Not exactly an unmanned site, though, and time ticking. We've got to make a move here. Bomb should be able to go down. Clearance is not good enough as Barton still has a bit of space. Nice shot from Hades, but no time to plant. And now it's about escaping with his life intact, keeping that AWP in play. And thankfully, that's the only luxury that he'll get, but it will be Legacy. Another round back on the board finally.
As said, just a really deep position, I think, makes all the difference. Monte didn't quite know how to reapproach that 4v4. Kind of wild that Dumao even makes it in. It's a very, very confident play, let's say. But also well held in A main, good flashes.
Nice.
Just chilling. No, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's cool, man.
Nice.
No,
nice.
no screams. No.
It's like the Ryan Gosling. Nice.
Yeah. no going crazy. Not quite yet for Legacy. Got to close this gap a little further, and they recognize that.
Yeah, job's far from over, I think, is the big thing for them. And I think they understand as well that this map obviously is statistically the most T-sided in the pool, but a lot of teams do prefer the CT these days. It's being picked into a lot, which actually, you know, it's a semi-rare thing. We saw Monte do it yesterday again. They also picked into towards T-side on this map. And it is one of those where if you can build up really good foundations in this first half on a T-side, it gives you so much of a luxury in that second half, something that Monte do time and time again. I feel like if Monte get even just getting like 6, for example, would already be absolutely massive. Any more than that is seen as an absolute cherry on top. And Legacy want to make sure they can prevent that as much as they can. They saw the issues that arose with MIBR yesterday. They don't want to repeat.
Slow contact here from Monte against the grain as they opt to not give any information across. The smoke might be slightly deep. Yeah, they fancy their chances with it. Flash not quite good enough for the backside player who keeps them coming. Dumao nearly for 3. So this is set up quite well now. They will opt to use the utility to make their way in. That smoke break is awkward. Dihar goes down. The bomb will be planted, one would assume, but not looking good, and maybe not even looking likely. K trying to find one of these kills before committing to the bomb plant. They are eluding him. He's got little bits of information, but nothing he can do with it. And Legacy, it is a retake of sorts. They look very good doing so.
Yeah, good couple of rounds now put on the board. So at least there's positives that are starting to be brought in for this Legacy side. A couple of rounds in a row. At least give you something to work with, and it will put a bit of a dampener on the mood on the Econ over towards Monte. They should still buy, but at least can have a bit of a pause and an opportunity for Noroth to enter into the fray himself. We saw Chucky do it earlier, and it worked well for them. They ended up now building on something. Noroth's got to try and do the same himself. Especially off the back of a really strong start, the worst possible thing that can happen is super strong start and then just completely peter out the second your opponent's getting towards the guns. And that is something we saw at times against MIBR when they also went on their 9-3 streak.
Only time will tell here. A lot of pressure on these teams, of course, and yeah, difficult to split them in terms of the veto. Monte, we give the upper hand. I would say that they are the favorites, regardless of, you know, where talent predictions and whatnot go. But Legacy slowly starting to build the snowball. Orb shot lands. Down goes Dihar. They had gone for a light buy here, of course. Got that Galil. The hero Galil could do something in the hands of Krasnal, but with a man down already, it's not a great look. Nekker's got to be careful. Yeah, he's, you know, feeling confident. Thinks it's just a few pistols on the other side. Dumao doing much better. Finds one, drops back, flashes in, looking for more. Very well played from Dumao to just control that situation and not let it get out of hand.
Having a good start as well, Dumao, to 9 kills now as well for him. Leading the pack over towards Legacy. And they do need him to step up. There's something that that Dumao in particular has been those moments of just being a little bit quiet by his standards. Sadzin is a little bit up and down, maybe a little bit inconsistent as well. He's a very talented AWPer, but we don't always get to see it. But Dumao Very, very solid player, and of course, so far, so good. 5-4. 1 round lead for Monte now as well. Bit of pressure on their shoulders, that's for sure. Smoke does get body blocked there too, so it leaves a massive gap over towards E-Box. Maybe something that Legacy can work with in their favor. Especially if you were to leave an AWP in that position. Satin has a real nice line of sight, and one which isn't too committed in towards that dark position. So at the very least, something that they could work with. Well, standing Monte early round here, very, very slow. Just try and bait out a bit of that util and then make a decision depending on what sort of response they get.
This is where it does get to that point as well, doesn't it, for a CT side of, okay, 4 is kind of cool, 5 or 6, they'll feel really quite satisfied with their CT side. So Monte, you've got to stop them from doing that. Nekiz, however, he loves lurking around these smokes, finds a 2-piece, both players with nade in hand. Comms maybe a little off there as the trade attempt was late, for sure. 5 versus 3. Monte had an idea. It's now been absolutely ruined by the IGL of Legacy. B bomb site looks pretty well defended here. There's some presence coming in behind as well, so got to get a move on before that flank activates. And there he is. Nekiz takes another one down. Bomb going to get planted, but they have to find their way out of this post plant. Demka, aggressive. It's Nekiz again in from behind, looking for the ace now. Kras now going to try and deny him that, and of course going to try and win this 1v3. The speed of the peak from Nekiz cannot be calculated by the naked eye. Goodness gracious, what an ace coming in.
Yeah, what a round from him. Talk about leading by example. That was so well played from Nekiz, just so confident. And at times, you can even talk about maybe a little bit overconfident, but it doesn't matter if you're winning the fight. Really nice angels taken from him, does a solid job of that mid control. And even that alone felt like probably job done, but then he gets fed a few more kills. The flank solid. The cross here is the big mistake for me. I'm not too sure what the idea was with Demka. You're running in towards the path of an AWP, but of course you know there's a flanking player. You have no main control either. So he very much can be set up, and he was. Credit to him. Nekiz really solid around. And will be Legacy tying up this game 5 apiece. And at one point it felt a little bit one-sided. Now, Monte under a bit of the pressure. A bit of a crunch coming through as well. This could work in their favor. Barton only for 1. Doom out will pounce one of his own, and he does have another one trap. It's Lato who comes in to take the kill. And he himself knows he doesn't need to peek. The bomb site taken, the bomb plant down, sure, but a 2v4 surely impossible.
They like the plant here, though. It is a good result. Tech9's on top of each other. Some well-placed frags could make all the difference. Really well read here, though, from Legacy to presume that they're going to try and go for the dark presence. Diha gets the flash in. He's going to have to go absolutely insane. 1 is nice, but needed a bit more than that, of course, to make us believe. Still, Monte, they can be happy. Couple kills and a bomb plant. It's a line we use quite a lot. However, they've not been able to stem this Legacy comeback. And it now looks like a pretty good half for the CT side, especially considering how it began.
Yeah, it does, just because of that recovery as well, right? So really, really well done. That is now 5 in a row for Legacy. And a super solid showing in these last few, which easily could spill in towards this next half. But even if it ends up just being 6-0, for example, just a pistol round alone for Legacy could reignite this momentum. Yeah, so Monte definitely not looking as solid as they did in the first half against MIBR, that's for sure. Hades, missed shot from him, a bit uncharacteristic, but Nekiz doesn't confirm the kill. A lot of damage dealt, but Hades is alive, so that's ultimately sort of all that matters here. Legacy are just so aggressive, so relentless, which so far hasn't been punished. Now it might. Great work from K.
Yeah, managing to thread it in. I think definitely the offbeat moment is not getting the kill onto Hades, but knowing that he was low, trying to stick around there. Dumao also finished. He's had a good number of multi-frag moments from camera. Hades watching behind. We'll leave it all down to Lato now. It is that final round. This would be a safe situation on any other round, but no time for that here. We'll see. It does feel like one of the foregone conclusions already. Unless he can pull off 1v4 of the century here. We'll see. Definitely been spotted there. I'll tell you that much for free. Takes out Kras now. Doesn't take any damage from it. He's not going to expect the second player coming in from middle, though, to be honest with you. Another nice find, not a lot of time, and yeah, there was your contingency plan. K will take it. 6-6 at the turn of the half. I don't know that Monte will be super happy with that. We'll see what they do in the second. Dead split coming into this second half. Monte needed more, Monte wanted more, and they were capable of more. Legacy managed to close this gap here. So the pistol, as always, super valuable. We'll see now what the CT side in particular can get done. But it is the pick of Legacy. So potentially, if you look at it from that very simple baseline, Legacy should have the upper hand moving into this T side. The odds, dead split. You know, we have to go deep into the decimals to get any difference.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what I've seen out from Dumal in particular. He's been stepping up in a big way. This is a big move as well. Dumal leading the charge, looking for the first, and he'll get it. Fantastic work from him. They split it towards the side, but up close. Sadzen will fall, and Barton's the one with the assist on it. That doesn't help, but it's going to get worse. Oh my. What is going on here through the smoke? I mean, this is absolute carnage.
Where is Dumal? He's in behind, he's in towards CT, he's sort of doing his best CT impression here with this attempt at the 1v3 retake now. As he's lost his teammates, the clock, he runs out of ammo, man!
So did K.
Oh my god, that could have been everything if he just had 3 or 4 more bullets. You never know what might have happened. Super, super close for Monte, considering how well it started, but they will indeed take it over the line. K in particular, in the carnage, doing well, keeping cool, picks up 3.
Yeah, I love that. Both of them right at the end there, K and Dumal both run out of ammo. So as Monte go 2 for 2 in pistols as well, which is already good signs, at least for them. That'll once again kickstart this half up. That's all you want to see out for this side. Early foundation, start to build off it. Little chaotic, sure. Legacy got a bomb plant too, which does mean if they want, they can go in for a buy here, which is pretty common, especially with the kills they got around it. So that is what they're going to opt for. 1 Galil, 2 Mac 10s, 2 Tech 9s, and a fairly decent full battle util there. Out for Neck is left over, and Barton will get the first. Okay, who was the main man in that previous pistol. He's the one first to fall. Nice work from Barton. Primarily as Dumal does a lot of the openings, but he gets a freebie given over. I think K just caught a little bit overextending. Krasnal needs to be very careful here. He's playing in the smoke like ships in the night. They're walking past each other, and Dia misses the ball when it matters most, and actually then Krasnal gets run down. 2 versus 4, they might be saving here.
Yeah, huge yikes, huge yikes. They even went in for the strong weapons, you know, and really tried to put up the best defense possible. Monte falter quickly, Legacy with a speedy play.
Yeah, it makes you feel like MP9s would have been better there for them, rather than like the FAMASs and the M4s.
Yeah.
Just because that close range as well, we can just kind of mow them down and really slow them down too with the tags.
Yeah, the run and gun, fire while retreating kind of thing.
Yeah,
Although, of course, there's a lot of flame at the moment for CS2 and how accurate
every gun is running.
Is. Yeah, yeah.
We saw Twister's tweet.
I did see that, yeah. He's not happy, mate. He's not happy, but it's fair enough. Me personally, I like it because, you know, it makes me look better at the game.
Yeah, low skill ceiling. Perfect for you.
Yeah.
that's what he's telling me.
Yeah.
But
listen, mate, one of these days I'm going to get face at 10, and then I'll be the one laughing. Might take a while.
Yeah,
but I'll get there.
We'll get there one day.
Yeah.
That's the Christmas holiday sorted.
By the time I'm 30, which is 4 years, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know.
You don't look a day over 19, mate.
Thanks, mate.
7-all. This game tied up. It's a bad one to lose, it has to be said, for Monte, but they can facilitate the reinvestment coming in around this. So, double MP9 alongside those Save Them 4 and FAMAS, it's okay. And the 5-7, even that for K. At close range, and that position in particular is pretty good. We're looking towards A, though, and the issue with this is there's no presence, really, here for Monte. Demka's at distance, but I think the second they lose the site, if they do lose it, which they have now, they might be tempted already to just kind of semi-call this.
Yeah, maybe. Demka is here quickly, of course. Oh, God. So awkward for him. Gets a couple of chances at the fight, but no success found. Bomb going down. I think you maybe do start to think about calling it, in fairness. You've got this flank coming in, but it's so late. It really does depend on what the M4 can get done. The answer is not much, but they are in. They are committed here, it would seem. I think it maybe now becomes a mission of like, okay, we can't fully send it, but let's just hold the extremities, try and go for the exit. Speaking of, however, we've got Neckers coming in from behind, so they think they have a contingency to save if they so choose, but the choice is not theirs. Neckers has now locked them in. The Hunter becomes the hunted. D-Hart trying to do that damage, can't get it done. And what could have been presence in the next round is now going to be a full eco. Legacy have a chance to start running away with the scoreline.
As weird as it feels, I feel like that is one of the very, very few times where we like to call them the unicorn rounds are actually needed. I think, you know, the second Demka realizes, right, they've smoked me off. We've lost the sight and the bomb's going down. Let's just call this. Let's just completely regroup. And we'll go shell up over towards that B site and just keep hold of what we've got. And then, you know, worst case scenario, maybe lose 1 or 2 in terms of the fights. But that for me felt really, really uncomfortable. I just didn't like what I saw out from Monte. It was individual fights, one by one. I mean, you know, you see Hades' reaction there. His one was a little bit awkward too. He didn't quite catch it, but essentially he tried to swing on towards Dumal. And despite Dumal being flashed, Hades still lost the fight to the spam. So not exactly what you want to see. And on Monte's side, who at one point were looking very good. They were 5-1 up, but now find themselves 8-7 down. Legacy still feels like the bulk of the gun rounds have been actually pretty clean for them. And it's starting to get a little bit concerning.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. They tried to stack things out, of course, and a bomb site was left open. Nobody there to stop the bomb going down. So Legacy moving through smoothly.
Awkward.
He says. D-Heart does manage to get the better. Trying to get hands. I think that nade completely ruins it. But if K gets a kill in the mixture here, that is good, right?
Yeah.
That is money made.
Exactly. Better than nothing. You'll take any silver linings. You know, you can see smiles on the faces there for Legacy. They know the spot they're in. Tac pause can be called here as well by Monte. As Norwood again enters in towards the fray. And I think for him, he very quickly started to realize how this is slipping away from their grasp. They were in for the chance of maybe setting up that 2-0 narrative as they had over MIBR. And it's not looking like it at the moment. It's definitely not feeling like that is on the cards. This is a Monte side who are struggling a bit. As Nora and Hades confer on what to do, what's the idea. And we were, you know, something you even brought up a little earlier, right? They used the strat book and all of it very early on that T side. And it did give them a decent start, but it didn't end up really doing anything towards the latter parts. Where's the strat book here on the CT side? We haven't really seen anything too outlandish, anything too audacious, if we're being completely honest.
No, it is true. It is true. I think we potentially need to see something like that. You know, the B main aggression is a classic when you are stuck for ideas. Not what they're going to go for. A bit more presence towards Dark, but even then, not quite swinging in. It's a deeper mid setup, I guess you could argue, but there's nothing really too flashy here, too proactive from Monte. A main smoke comes in, that'll keep them at bay over there. So Legacy again looking to run the map.
Neckers moving his way forward. Spots one deep. Question is, does he really know or clear or care about K close right? Hasn't spammed it, which is pretty common, especially now that Neckers is a known quantity. It's a pretty common thing to do in that spot. At range, Hades, 1-for-1. K will then pounce, looks for a double, gets it. The third, not quite there, but damage dealt towards Barton gives them a chance. But just as I say that, Dumal then comes alive. D-Her gets dropped, and this round up in the air still. Bomb spotted towards mid. Dumal low in towards main as he's trying desperately to give a preferential peek and bait out something as his teammate moves on forward. It's all a ruse, and it works. Demka falls for the trap.
Yeah, massively so. I mean, kind of surprising he doesn't see that one coming. I think you need to be switching between those angles as best you possibly can. Krasnal left in this situation. Ooh. Good find onto Barton, though. That's the healthy player.
No kit.
Does have nades, though. Does have nades. Does he know that Dumao is low? It is unlikely. Molotov comes in. Not really much that Dumao can do to cross that. Maybe tap this bomb, make him worry. Dumao looking to just try and play this 1v1 as best he possibly can. He's not really moving. Oh, the AK. Krasnal goes early and scares him away. There was limited time, to be fair. He needed the kill then and there. Even then, I don't know that he would have had time to get the defuse without the kit. That is unfortunate. That is a game changer as well.
It is.
Yeah, Demka... Maybe not the one to watch, okay? He might seem like the most... The egregious move is your dark swing. When you have the advantage, you don't need to be making plays like that. Pull back, discipline. You have to sort of bail or freeze or exit or cancel, whatever kind of word you're using. Someone needed to throw that in after this play in middle from K. It's that kill there from Dumao that makes all the difference.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. And I think this is where, unfortunately, we're seeing actually quite similar signs to what we saw in yesterday's game against MIBR, when things went a little bit south for Monte, and even when they went in towards overtime, they actually started to really get quite flustered. They were panicking, making very rash decisions, and actually they ended up costing them ultimately in the end. Nice little boost there, little trick up the sleeve as Hades will get the opener on towards Lato. So some way, a try to kind of make this round work for them, despite the limited buy they've got. Of course, the AWP saved over, an MP9 and a few upgraded pistols around it.
I mean, this would be the type of round to reset the energy for sure. They have potentially gone on the other end of the spectrum where we've maybe commented on the fact that they've not been making too many plays. Now they're going a bit too hardcore into it, right? Fully rotating around towards mid there. Still maybe able to put something up with the AWP, but now the smokes come in. 2 smokes, in fact. So it's like, you're really not getting in. And yeah, that's unlucky for Monte, right? They find one, they try and play around the fact that it's like, oh, we've got the AWP. Maybe they want to stay away from the AWP. Still going, though. Time becomes an enemy once again. But they are still looking, maybe half exit, half going for it. Nekiz makes an aggressive move. We'll get caught out in the open. If this is quick, it is doable. Potentially, they've got to get someone on the bomb now. No. They will. Dihar with the big kill. I think there is just about enough time for it here. And Monte with the unlikely round, doing well to stick. Also, I think that's a fantastic kind of decision from them. Yeah,
out of nowhere as well. And it also means they can wheel the double AWP in towards next round too. They've picked up another one, and there should be a rifle down to be scooped up. So investments are going to be quite minimal in terms of what they need. That is a big round to take in their favor. And it might just flip the script there a little bit. For a moment, it felt like things were looking just a tad uncomfortable. It felt like there was something where was it kind of consistently going wrong over towards Monte, and now we've got a chance here. Legacy, not the sort of round that you want to be losing, not at all. I think hence why we're seeing this pause come through once again, a moment to converse, but it still is Legacy, only 3 rounds away from taking their map pick and heading in towards Mirage, a map that they also like a lot, and utilizing it in their favor. We've got that double AWP, like we said. Dihar looks like he's going to be wielding that secondary. Of course, Hades in the primary. And I like the way that started too as well, for kind of, you know, the little boost over. Hades finds Lato to start things off. It's just a little gimmick that, not something you can replicate all the time, because it's, you know, more often than not just going to get naded. But I think it's just, you've got to do something a little bit different in a round like that, and they do. Bit aggressive, little step up in CT tempo. I can get behind that. Legacy, what's the response like?
Plenty of time to figure this out. Not a lot of movement from both sides. It is, again, interesting to see Monte playing a really turtle-style defense. A lot of teams, you'd expect them, they win the unlikely round, and then they'd be like, all right, let's try and send it. Let's go deep mid. Let's get that B main play going.
Sure.
These guys are really not changing very much up at all. Maybe the presence of the AWP is the big thing.
Then we keep playing anti. And not over towards the standard pillar position just yet either. And just behind that smoke. Oh, it's getting close. Oh, it's baiting out a fight from Dumal. A little panic there. He thought, I think maybe that he'd been spotted. Dumal's just going to go through full blind, and that's a rogue decision. And Barton follows him to demise. This is falling apart. Legacy. We spoke about Monte looking a little flustered, but this one, it was a bad play to start things off. Not too sure what Dumal was doing. Barton then just follows him. Again, for the same reason. He was also blind, and Lato just get caught at range by the AWP, but falling apart very briskly. There's still another AWP in play, but still a chance here. 2 versus 3. Back into the 1 now as well. Sadzin caught, and a good round for Monte to make this a 1-round game. And Anubis might still be on here. I felt like this was going to get closed by Legacy sooner rather than later.
Yeah, well, it should have been 11-7.
Yes, exactly.
And then maybe we'd be looking at like 11-8, but with a good economy. Butterfly effect and all that.
It's true.
Can make a big difference, losing those shaky rounds.
It's a very messy round again, though, from Legacy.
Yeah.
Just as last one was as well.
Yeah.
Never good when you get 2 back-to-back rounds that are really scrappy for different reasons. One's a post-bomb, one's an execute, and that's never what you want to see.
Yeah. It's opposite ends of the spectrum, right? You feel like you have to make decisions and things are going wrong. Meanwhile, Monte are like, okay, here we go, we're working. Let's keep doing what we're doing. Morale moves up. You can see, you know, looking down at Krasnal there as the round goes on. He's moving quick. He's vocal. You know, it's very energetic. Whereas Legacy, that may well have been sapped out from them here.
As you can see as well, because Krasnal's, you know, he's had a bad game. There's no 2 ways about it. He's really looked off his ball. Gets 2 kills in that round, very important, but he had a really poor game. So a good time to kind of step up late in towards this series. Now tied 10-all. Feels like we've got a game on our hands here. Might just have something to work with. Nate from Lato, he's learned from when Hades dropped him a couple of rounds ago. This time, though, Hades doesn't go for that peak.
I feel like that's been one of the big changes for the CT side is Hades and his creativity, you know, the changing of bomb sites, the dynamicism, I think, is maybe the word that I'm looking for. Lato takes an awful lot of damage there. Not sure if it has been heard. Another nade comes in. Krasnal gets caught. Dihar, though, as the smoke goes down, was in a good spot. We talked about Hades. Going to have to step up here. He gets caught eventually. Needed something else from his riflers in on the site. 3 versus 2 retake. They're here quickly. Nade doesn't really do too much to write home about. Lato is the man to stop this round from unraveling, and he's struggling over here. Key finds his kill, and it will now be left down to Sadzin. 2 versus 3 turn 2 versus 1, smoked off as well. They have that bomb control now. It's planted in somewhat of an awkward spot as well. They break the smoke, don't see him there. Flash coming in, can he find it? The lineup, ooh, is there. He gets the headshot, but there's time. And there is a kit. So Monte will indeed take it, and a keen retake coming in.
Yeah, that's not a lineup. And actually, Demka getting pretty loud there as well. We don't always see that from him, so they get hyped. This is good. Monte spiraling well. 4 rounds in a row now as well for them is exactly what you want to see, and it's completely flipped. You know, the vibes are looking super good over towards Legacy. They were feeling super solid, and not so much anymore. This one is absolutely on the cards for Monte still. 11-10, and sure, we talk about a bomb plant and the small little benefits of that because it gives you some level of a buy, but it's not a full buy for Legacy. We get a Jalil out and a few upgraded pistols. Now, these buys are still quite scary. Running Tech 9s are the bane of many pro players' existence. But the expectation is Monte should find 12 here.
Funky little play. Sadzin sat inside their smoke. Molotov does not work. Dihar spamming.
They're in trouble.
This is awkward. This is very awkward. It's a team kill in dark, thank goodness. Nice little smoke, I suppose. Sadzin going to try and work around it, but the bomb site itself will fall. Nade is good. Nade is really good, actually. Some decent damage done, but they can't stop the bomb from going down. Spam's not finding anything here. Dark control is actually free. It's a pretty interesting post-plant setup from Legacy in the fact that they have all 4 out in towards B main, clear from Lato, so they know there's no one coming in from this angle. Going to look to try and play around the bomb. Yeah, this is really strange. I think you've got to get a player on and body block, but how easy is that to do in practice? Tap onto the bomb comes in. Oh my goodness, the firing squad opens up. Demka will answer back. What can Sadzin do? He's going to try and move through here. They can't get him off the bomb though. They find every single kill apart from the important one. Demka keeps the kills coming in as well. Absolute carnage at the end. That's what Legacy wanted, but they could not quite capitalize. Monte just about get their 12th.
I love the body blocking. I mean, you touched on it just before it happened, but it ends up being the thing that saves them. Oh my, so close there for Legacy, but not close enough. Map point Monte. What a wild one. One thing we've seen these last couple of rounds as well, in both cases, this time it was Sadzin, last time it was Lato. Somebody just keeps sneaking out of that B main smoke. They need to hold it better, Monte. It's happened twice in a row and it's cost them twice too. They keep getting a lot of space there. You just need to be very careful. Those smokes aren't walls. They can walk through them. That is a thing that is becoming a little awkward to watch. Go drop a smoke. Even though the molly was up, he would rather them try and push their way through it and catch them off guard. Molotov down doesn't really affect K here. Needs to be careful. That's hit. Neckers, actually. They're going to know he's here. That tagged him up. He might be in trouble. He should be in trouble. He somehow gets the kill. How has he got away with it? Nearly even the second behind it.
Yeah, that would have been dangerous. Nice deep smoke coming in there towards dark. They're able to neglect the area. Monte as well. Not quite biting here. Late flash in. Dangerous move. Dink does land, to be fair to Krasnal. It is falling apart somewhat here. The finds from Dumao are massive. A bomb site left open. Dihar. Really no mates. And I think potentially going to save it.
Yeah, has to be said. I mean, Dumao continues to have an incredible performance. 26 and 14. If they're to lose here, Dumao takes none of the blame. It's been, unfortunately, a little bit of a muted performance from Sadzin on the AWP. Especially considering that Hades isn't doing too bad. This one, I don't really think we're going to see too much out of D. Maybe 6 round for a bit of an exit kill, but that'll be about it. Not giving this 1v4 a go, obviously. I don't like exactly like they're flushed for cash on the side of Monte. They have enough for a buy, sure. I don't know for the AWP in particular. Demka is sitting on 4.2k. So we can squeeze that out, but what's that next round going to look like for Monte? I think they've got one more tac pause left to work with as well, so at least got that going for them. That's a good round though from Legacy. Just a couple of isolated fights thrown in their way. For the first time in a while, it will be Legacy getting around. That's the first one they found in the last 6 played. Dumao falls to the bomb. But he doesn't matter. He doesn't care. Final round of regulation. We saw Monte go to overtime, double overtime yesterday against MIBR. Is that going to be where they're destined to go once again, or can they get this done in regulation as they failed to do yesterday?
The zoom for intensity onto Dihar in the end. We'll see here. Monte are going to look slightly shaky. Buy is not perfect. A lack of utility is the key thing. In all honesty, this could be dangerous. Hades, we've seen him so good on the AWP. A lot of movement from him, potentially going to have to do something here to create an opportunity.
Yeah, I think they've got to go a little wild there. I think without that util, you can't like play the long game here. I think you've got to try and get things done really early. Somebody's got to get an opening kill, and then they've got to try and play off each other in a sort of a numbers game. I don't think we can just play a normal default here. Is my understanding, but we'll see. I feel like they want to try and fight and try and settle this in the first kind of 30 seconds, and then just be able to sit back on the numbers and wait for Legacy to panic.
Again, though, man, not a lot of movement, not a lot of changes. They have left mid undefended. That's something that I think they've gone for a few times, actually. Deep smoke coming in, it feigns presence. And then they bolster a bomb site, the deep A smoke as well. So Legacy have been kept far back. But beyond that, there's not really too much that, again, gets us excited from the Monte defense.
Neckers, there's a lot of spacing via mid. He's been doing a lot of good work there. Once again, he'll continue pushing his way forward. Has the support of Sadzin. Like we mentioned, he's been a little bit quiet, especially by his standards, but that timing, unfortunately, will really elude him there. But he continues to hold his angle and push his way forward. He might even potentially give himself the opportunity to fight here. Pixel spotted. Demka dropped, looks for the second, doesn't quite find it. Hades under pressure as well. Getting pressured from two different angles to make it even worse, but K will pop off. Can't make it a second, holding down Mouse 1. Neckers keeps the advantage in Legacy's favor and adds to it as well with another. Overtime looks like it's going to be required here unless Krasnal can pull off a 1 versus 4. Has a kit, has a Molotov, but surely no chance in hell. This feels like a forlorn conclusion here in the final round of regulation. Krasnal only good for 1-4-1. Once again, Monte. Overtime required if they want to take this map.
Yeah, there do seem to be some inconsistencies for this side in terms of closing games out. Something that, you know, we noted yesterday going into the overtime, and it seems to have remained a little bit the Hades IGL era.
Yes, yeah.
Certainly is something to consider, but at the very least, they do have the overtime. There was a brief moment where we felt that this one was going to go the way of Legacy. Both teams doing very well to keep the bounce and to keep their confidence up.
It's true. And unfortunately, it has to be mentioned once again that it is that CT side. That's the weakness for Monte, and it was the same issue yesterday against MIBR. I mean, both sides put up 9-3 on their T side, with the CT side looking incredibly weak. And the same thing happens again here. It's not quite as egregious as like a 9-3, but it still is one of those where you see a lot of clear errors over towards Monte, and especially after the 5 rounds in a row on CT, we're thinking surely this is going to be enough for them. But you can maybe even look back to them when they lost that force buy. That could, even that small thing alone could have been the difference. Kay, look at this. Aggression coming through, and it works against him as well. That's so unfortunate. I like the idea, but the timing was just half a second off.
It's a good start for Legacy. Can they continue to capitalize on it? Dumao looking good as he moves into his 28th frag. Really, really solid regulation. It could continue here into the overtime as well. Now we see Monte get adventurous, right? Dihar in a deep position. May well end up being too little too late, but potentially in this round at the very least could give them a way back in. And it's a full, you know, game of Counter-Strike's worth of conditioning that you just don't expect. An aggressive angle. Dihar catches Neckers. He was waiting for the opportunity for more. It doesn't come, so just going to take the 1 kill. He's covered off. Sadzin takes a decent chunk of damage. This suddenly looks a hell of a lot better for Monte. Nadage coming in as Legacy will try and close the gap. Shadow spotted, easy find for Hades. Meanwhile, down below, Dihar keeps it coming. Big round from him. We saw him absolutely explode into the overtime yesterday.
True.
He might do the same here.
That's the round we needed in regulation. We said when you haven't got, you know, loads of util left in the back box, because they didn't. They went in for that AWP buy, so with the AWP buy, man, they hated no util, and a couple of the players were left on kind of just a flash or just a smoke. We had to see them do something proactive, and they just shelled off, and hence why it was very easy for Legacy to find openers. That time, they do something just a little bit different, and that's all that's required for them. Monte draw first blood in overtime. If they can get 2 out of 3 rounds here, at least, on this CT side, I think it's at least happy for me and something to work with. That was the big issue. I mean, we saw the first overtime yesterday. It was 3 OT side, reply with a 3 OT side. Can't let something like that happen again. But of course, we know that they haven't. Monte gets that first. If they can get 2 out of the 3, I'd be very happy. We know how strong their T side has looked for the most part from yesterday in towards today.
Oh, creep in here could be dangerous. Dihar thankfully takes an early peek, but still overwhelmed by the contact play. Legacy seem to have some mad moves of their own. Generally speaking, this would be a round that you might throw in the bin, but Monte, of course, going to give it a go in the OT. What can they get done? The flash not good enough. Sadzin now knows there's another behind that flash as well. So this one feels that it is completely chalked up. Hades on the AWP, hoping someone peeks into him. Not going to happen. So we're on a soft save here from Monte.
Exactly. Keep hold of the AK. Keep hold of the AWP. Demka Medihurt steps away. Hades will play for exits. I don't think it's going to make a grand difference, and it actually ends up costing his life at the end. So Demka keeps hold of his AK-47. That is about that. And it will be tied game here as well. And once again, maybe where we see Monte fall just a little bit flat on this CT side that's eluded them in being super strong. It was better today than it was against MIBR in regulation, sure. Especially with the 5 in a row, but it doesn't matter if it's still having that overtime required. Legacy, far from over. The big thing is for Legacy, I do feel like they've got to win this. Not that I have a bad Mirage, it's just that Monte loves that map so much. It does feel very much like they could scalp it away. So if Legacy find this, then we can maybe talk about the Ancient. Up close, K for 1 only. Good trade from Hades as well. Quickfire AWP gets his, drops a Molotov, gets out. Doesn't need to stick around for that second, but they're looking like they want to re-aggress here. I don't actually hate the idea because he'd heard them dropping towards water. So this is now that warning call over towards Krasnal. Be careful. He then makes a bit of noise as well. So Sats is going to be aware of this.
Doesn't seem like it's necessarily been paid attention
She's not
to.
hurt.
Yeah, wow. Bomb immediately falls into the hands of Dumao, thankfully, because that could have been really, really painful. Hades keeps the kills coming in from behind. It's all going to be on Lasso. 1 versus 3. Down to the 1 versus 1. Out of nowhere, the spray down doesn't quite connect. And it will be a lead moving into that second half of OT for Monte here.
That round's all lost by the fact that they don't hear Hades.
Yeah, crazy.
The only thing I can, to try and make sense of it is that they were coming at the time.
Yeah,
and
nades
it just
going off.
Yeah, it masked it because, it makes a pretty loud noise. He's fallen quite the fair distance and he dropped even in towards the water rather than on the concrete. So I'm surprised they don't hear him. He drops the bomb, it changes things, but good effort from Lato, just unfortunately not good enough. It will be Monte only needing 2 rounds on this T side. They had a good T side yesterday, had a fairly decent one to start off this map. Good advantage in their core. It's just about whether they can capitalize upon it. And we know they've got a couple of tricks up their sleeve too. Hades showcased them early in towards the map itself. The only worrying thing that I had is that when the guns came out for Legacy, the game actually started to look pretty one-sided in Legacy's favor.
Once they found some stability.
Yeah.
Dumao's pushed all the way in. Again, this is an overtime-only kind of play. Something that wasn't done a lot during regulation. Krasnal's got half an eye on it. Not quite fast enough, but at the very least gets that trade out. K, meanwhile, he's made his way in towards mid with the bomb in tow. So
no one on A.
Yeah, a really, really big kill. After catching Dumao in particular, K sticks around, gets another catch. Brilliant round from him. He was a real troublemaker in regulation on the T side. He looks to do the same again. Round is gone here for Legacy. They desperately tried to create something there in Dark, but yeah, just not going to happen. Lato saves because it's futile. May as well hold on to a bit of extra cash. The AWP mule, potentially.
Yeah, has to be said as well. I think things started so well. I like that push from Doom It just shows the confidence of him. Now we're up in towards kind of 30 kills, right? So credit to him. An incredible kind of idea. It's just unfortunately can't get the second behind it. But, I mean, Doom's opening fight to be really good. 6-2 in opening duels for him. So, an absolute credit. Legacy are very lucky to have him. I really do feel that without Doom, they're not actually even making it towards overtime in this game. So credit to how well he's playing. On the other side, while Demka's leading the charge in terms of the numbers, I think just the impact that K is having through mid on T side, we saw it happen so much in regulation. His CT side work was really solid as well. K's impact's been incredible, and this is another good round of it. And it now means Monte find map point. Once again, though, the question that we arise once again is, can they actually finally close it out? Or the Legacy stay alive once more?
Time will tell. Oh, a great break. It's actually from the CT side, so Dihart uses it to his advantage. I can't tell you how many times I've seen those, smoke break plays go backwards.
Yeah.
So that'll be a difficult one for Lato and Legacy to stomach here. K once again looking to be the nuisance towards middle. Neck is with an off angle, but still gets caught. K just brushes him aside. It's like, what the hell is this in my way? Absolutely brilliant stuff. 5 versus 3 now.
Dumal, what are we doing? Oh my god, it's going to work. He's going to get one. How is Dumal still alive? Oh, how is he going to get a second? What is going on here? How has Dumal got another kill there? And how is this round still on? It felt like we were done here. And somehow then K gets him behind. Looks for a second, can't quite get it. As Dumal looks for 4, but Daniel finally get dropped. 1v1, AWP v AWP, Hades versus Sadzin. And 40 seconds on the clock, and Hades is high-tailing it towards A. And it's a foot race or win, because Sadzin hasn't even joined it.
We'll get that bomb down. All to play for here in the 1 versus 1. Ooh.
No.
His brain is too big for his own good. I mean, it might work in a weird way. AK picked up here by Sadzin, trying to move across. That one Molotov is all that he needs. I mean,
no bomb plan. Now he's thinking. The cogs are
yeah,
wearing.
I mean, it kind of works, doesn't it? We'll see. It's going to buy time anyway. He's actually walking into A, and now he's noticed. So that is, 5 solid seconds bought. Now a full rotation back, trying to play things slowly. So it really is going to come down to the bomb play, and that maybe is exactly what Hades wants. No smoke available as yet for Sadzin. Maybe there's one on the ground somewhere. Could change the game pretty massively. If it remains open, you'd favor the AWP. He's checking some angles here. Nothing spotted. Nothing deep in towards dark. There's hardly any time now. 10-second timer has gone, man. He's just got to hold the bomb. He does get the flash off, but he doesn't land the shots. Hades on the Tech 9, but the round is won. It doesn't matter if he goes down, and Monte will take it once again in the overtime on Anubis. Struggling to close it out, but they find the second win. And it does seem when the pressure is lifted, we get a different version of Monte in the overtime.
A sigh of relief, I think it has to be said, for Monte there. But, a lot of credit has to be given towards Duma. What a performance from this guy all the way throughout. Ends on 33 kills, and he put the team on his back. And then some, but it's of Monte. This is a side where they've looked very good. Obviously, we saw against MRBR, that 13-2 was really good from them.
Yeah.
So if we get that level of performance out for Monte, I really feel like they've got it in the locker here to be able to close this out. But I've got to be said, with Monte, I think I was a little hesitant with this Polish side in terms of where is their skill ceiling, what is actually the level. But so far this tournament, I've actually been really impressed with what I've seen. Even with the overtimes, I still actually like the Counter-Strike they're playing. It's very, it's not like kind of that tier 2 puggy style that we see some of these teams come to sort of Challenger with, and they hope they can kind of catch some of the tier 1.5, tier 1 teams off guard. It's very thoughtful. The way in which they're kind of playing around each other is very good. They've obviously got these setups which work super well for them. So I've been a fan. I think Monte have actually really grown in towards this tournament.
A execute coming through for the pistol, wasting about a minute of time, making a bit of noise towards the B site, try and draw attention over there, but ultimately a good find. Lato will back away. Not really all that much coming for this Legacy side, and they don't want to take the fights. They're just giving it away. Bomb plant going to go down. 3 round the corner. Bloodbath incoming. It's a lot of damage done to Lato. Oh my goodness, though. The quadruple swing. Have you ever seen anything like it? They back off on that Monte side, try and give them the respect and the space. It's Nekis, however, who comes in from the side for the catches. All going to be down to Krasnal now. They have given him the space and the opportunity to work with a 10-second hold coming in. The bomb not quite planted for him here, you have to consider.
Go.
He's got to move fast. He's got to move fast. Oh my goodness, needs to find the headshot, and the defuse will come in. It wasn't planted cleanly enough. He was even round the corner. So a rushed plant potentially costs them there.
Yeah, I don't think that was the plan, especially with where he was playing over towards ramp. I think the expectation that the bomb was in a little bit more of an advantageous spot so they could actually play off that ramp spot. That's unfortunate. I don't actually think Krasnal's done anything wrong there. I think he's even thinking, I can't see him. You know, the bomb surely planted for me. He couldn't see him here. He peeks in towards that corner, which is normally the place you play it from, and he's like, oh, I don't see him on it. So maybe he's, you know, he's dancing around triple. I think Krasnal gets quite unfortunate there, in all honesty. A good round for Legacy nonetheless. Good 10-second defuse for Barton. It will, of course, mean a buyout for Legacy. Monte aren't going to opt for the force buy. We've gone for 4 Deagles and a P250 out for Krasnal. So a low buy here, hoping to catch a couple of heads. And they do get a tag there on towards Lato. But expectations are probably relatively tempered for us. Again, this is another one of those rounds. You get a bomb plant, you're pretty happy with it.
Quite nice from Monte as well, by the way, that they get the plant in the previous round and they actually decided to eco this one out.
Yeah.
Not the usual pathing, especially for a T side. They will love that extra 600, but maybe it's not enough these days. You know, a subtle change that's not been touched or talked about too much doesn't seem to have had a massive effect on the meta, but
yeah,
potentially some of the thinking here for Monte.
Yeah, if they don't get kills as well, the big thing is going to be the question about what their buy is actually going to look like, because somebody's going to have to take a hit in terms of going in towards a Galil or a Mach 10 if they want the util out here. So that's the big thing for me. They can get AKs across the board, but they're not going to have the fully fleshed out util belts. And we all know how important they are. So I think, yeah, that is the big thing. I'm a fan of the low buy. I'm a fan of the jewelry too, has to be said. The drip there from Doom, but
a little necklace going, you know.
Yeah, he's kind of matching out here.
Yeah, we like a bit of personality, you know, to be fair. I'm into my jewelry a little bit. But they have, like, the mascots and stuff. So
yeah. Demka's got, like, a koala on his monitor. It's quite cool. I always did think, though, I mean, this might just be me, but, like, I would slightly get distracted by it. I'd just, like, look at it, the koala.
Yeah, you have ADHD, though, mate. You know what I mean? So.
Well, I'm not diagnosed there. Come on now. I like my TikToks as much as the next guy, my Instagram Reels, but... Okay, gonna get spammed down through the smoke. And he's on to back. Oh, he gets quite unfortunate, I have to be said there, towards his neck. It looked like the crosshair was on, but didn't wait for that aim to reset. And actually, Dia might have been spotted there on the jump peak.
Potentially, yes. I mean, the big thing is, of course, they've got the bomb at the top end of middle, so they have a good idea of where Monte are going to be for the next 30 seconds, roughly. They've actually opted not to take the fight. Happy to let them have that bomb back, particularly in the early stage of the game here. Really important that they get the momentum going. Connector smoke goes down. Dihar trying to take the cross. Thank goodness the knee was spotted. Tries spamming away. Got to be careful here. There's a lot of gaps about to open up as this smoke goes down. Nekis has got himself hidden away, looking for a late round play.
Big.
But Demka is patient. Dihar's the distraction, running interference. Demka, he is the man picking up all the frags, it would seem. Barton suddenly alone, and that is a really clean recovery from the T's.
Barton, 1v3 of an MP9. Feels unlikely. If Monte actually managed to get themselves this 1v3 cleanly without losing anybody, that would really be helpful for them in terms of building up the funds. And it looks like Barton might even be tempted just to pick up any sort of upgrade of a weapon and keep hold of it. Now that he's smoked at a connector in particular, there's M4 down in front of him, there's an AK behind too. So there we go. Picks up the AK. Leaves behind the flash, but he's got a full belt to util, so doesn't need it. That's a big round for Monte to take. And nice little answer back as well off the back of the lost pistol when that previous round, which was a little bit of a throwaway. That's important. Like we said, 3 staying alive. Good for the stability. No problems to reinvesting towards the next. Demka can drop over an AK as well for somebody to get a bit of util out. And this is where we can see the build-up and showcase just what Monte can do. MIBR really felt the brunt of it yesterday. That 13-2 was not only obviously was it just quick in terms of the scoreline, but the rounds were rapid as well. Monte gave absolutely no room to breathe for the MIBR side, and they just got completely decimated there. And it could potentially end up being more of the same. Legacy have got to try and learn from their fallen comrades in this one. Their fellow countrymen who really did struggle. Nice little lower control. Nice split here as well. Duval should get a drop, and he will. Another great opener. He was very good at opening jewels in towards that previous map, and he finds his here as D here just gets caught in 2 mines.
Smokes over the top actually might sell. Krasnal's got them out quite quickly on his own. So it does seem like, yeah, they're feeling this. Rotating a fair few players in. Still that one man on B. But Monte confusing Legacy, I think, at this point now that there's no real attack that comes in off the back of these smokes. However, one lone smoke from Barton keeps them away from B. So now they have to reapproach the idea. They don't have loads of time with a minute left and being quite far away from the bomb sites.
Going back into the stack here. And Legacy, while they over-rotated to go over towards A, they've stood tall and stayed here. This could be very scrappy indeed. Okay, trying to make a move up a connector as well, but it's Lato for the first as Krasnal going to fall. There's a Palace player. There's a bit of a move coming through connect. It's all about timing here. Dumal's got to make a move himself, and he saves his teammate. And he gets another behind it as well. Hades has already been dinked, and Dumal, really solid round. 4 kills in total for him, and another monstrous display. I mean, 33 kills in the first map, an incredible showing. 1.71 rating from him. He was out of this world, and it doesn't look like he's lost it. Despite that map being lost, he's still got that individual prowess, which is always what we want to see. Here's another one of those games. If Monte do falter at any point, Dumal will punish them.
Really trying to have their cake and eat it too, Monte, in that round. You can't be faking A and then a sort of lackadaisical attempt to go back towards A after they didn't fancy B. If they're faking A and going B, I think you have to commit to that. Yes, there was a smoke in the way. Yes, your ruse might be up in a moment, but I think you still have to commit to that. That was the plan. Everything changes and people have to readjust, which is not easy to do.
And in hindsight as well, they're going to look at the demo and just be kicking themselves. There's one guy towards the side, right? It just showcases how something as simple as a smoke going down can completely bait them in the other side.
I do find there's a lot of that from the Hades IGLing here, that from time to time, he kind of is playing too many different games and too many different pathways.
I agree.
You know, just keep it simple sometimes, especially potentially early on in a game when I don't think many players, many teams are going to be looking to take the risks and move thick and fast. Good catch from Dumal. Perfect timing from him. Gets himself another before going down, but it is paramount that he's picked up the information. However, K in from behind. He's just not fast enough to really have any impact. He's lost his remaining 2 teammates. It now becomes a clutch situation rather than a potential recovery.
Bomb, scooped up, head ripped off. K dropped. Love that from Dumal. Another really good push. I mean, Alan was touching on the desk, you know, when we get in towards overtime and even kind of late part of regulation, we just saw how Dumal got to the point where, like, I'm not going to anchor anymore. I'm actually going to start getting aggressive and start trying to make the difference early in these rounds. And he's been doing it here. Another great push. He gets 2 before he falls, which is already really job done. You know, 4 rounds in at that point and being 3-0 in opening duels, heading in towards the 6th now. I mean, already exactly what you want to see out of a guy like him. Oh, made that. 4-0 in opening duels. I mean, he is absolutely loving these early fights, and they're working out for him. Still alive. Dumal comes in for a second, then gets caught on the reload. It's all in a matter of moments falling apart. Demka's got to pull off a really tough clutch there. It was basically a 1v4 turned 1v2. And Santin's got other ideas. Monte look a little scrappy here. Not what we normally expect from them. Their T-side is normally incredibly slow.
Yeah, a lot of confident moves as well, though, from the Legacy side of things, taking those early pushes, those early fights. I think Monte are thinking, okay, surely if this guy's getting aggressive, then the A site is playing a bit more passive. But no, Legacy have got many, many, many different prongs to the attack. So I don't know whether it was the best idea to buy into the previous round. Monte, I think, trying to stay hot on the heels of Legacy doesn't work for them, obviously. They're now on to this half-buy. But as you can see with where the money is at and the money that came in, they maybe could have gone for something in this round itself. We do have the Galil, we do have the armor for Diha. So just have to watch themselves here. It seems the on the same page argument not really been used. And maybe take a timeout actually to just even things out. It seems like the mental is different depending on who you ask.
Yeah, it's very quickly got to the point of being, you know, now at 5-1, should be made 6-1. I mean, already Legacy have done more than enough as a CT side start goes. I think you're right. I wouldn't mind seeing Monte just take a moment of pause and a moment for Nora, the coach, to once again speak his mind. Bit of a standoff here. Who spots who first? Sadzin doesn't move. Krasnal gives up on the position. Reposition, and that's what Sadzin was waiting for. Patience pays off as Krasnal will fall. Galil into newer hands, but Nekkers and Dumal do so well. What a shutdown. So easy, ultimately, as well. I'm a little worried, Monte.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't looking so good. We might actually be very quickly requiring this third map. It is, you know, we've maybe had like 5 minutes of play here. We're at 6-1.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Really quick game. Very decisive rounds coming in from Legacy as well. Monte, their 1-1 round. It was some clean mid-rounding, but
yeah,
haven't really been able to capitalize on that. Few mistakes here or there. And as we say, something seems slightly off. They're going for another quick round here, trying to get Diha through the smoke. It's actually Krasnal that catches aggression in the B apartments. So this works out really nicely. Deep mid control, no one around from Legacy to really answer. I think the B bomb site suddenly becomes vulnerable, but you can see K's found a gap. He's up through connector. They don't know what's going on. Monte working on a speedier round. As you say, not in their DNA. Just have to be careful now, though. There's still 2 remaining on the A bomb site. It's a good job they are indeed hitting their shots. I worried about this bomb creeping in without the main Monte contingent. Demka looking for the last. He's basically got it here. There you go. We'll find it in the end. And Monte get themselves that second round. Let's see if they can keep this rolling, however.
Yeah, it's all about consistency now as well for Monte. Can we get a few consecutive rounds on the board and then maybe build on something? Taking a while for them to look or put up a real comfortable round. That one feels better. And I think maybe as well, we've seen how Legacy, all of these opening fights have been so easy for them, and that time they just get caught overextending a little bit too lackadaisical in terms of their engagements, and it does not work out for them. Monte onto that second. Nice opening kind of tag on towards Nekkers. Sadzin's been missing a couple of sitters, has to be said. Did it in the last round, 2 on K. This time he's missed 3, one of which being a tag, but he's still not confirming that kill, and eventually he'll fall. Awkward for Sadzin as Hades will then punish on towards Nekkers. Thankfully, Latter's still here to lock down and anchor up on towards A. He might get caught in transition, but then Hades on scope, so that's also a small little timing error. But the numbers still favour Monte.
Big fight potentially going down here as Lato looks to fill the gaps. Krasnal not moving. Is it a B play? It doesn't look like it. Just trying to keep attention on that bomb site. Lato is here in good time, and he seems pretty adamant that there is a man in that jungle window area trying to back his teammate here. Dumao with the scoreline of 12-7, looking to back it up a little bit more, and immediately dropped. He had it too good almost, you know, too careful with that play. Barton on the other bomb site, nothing he can do. So Monte stringing them together, maybe indeed pulling the comeback towards the tail end. Demka,
even though he's low, might have a little bit of a look around. There's plenty of cash over there. So they might try and do some sort of a hunt because Legacy have got the greatest of money to work with long term. Just having a rifle alive over Barton could be pretty important. We'll see. No, even though they're close, he'll be given that save of the M4. But I still think Legacy are going to struggle in terms of what they want to buy here. They've only got kind of that second little stage of loss bonus. So it's not exactly the greatest. It could be something where now we are seeing Monte responding kind. I would like to see Monte off the poor start, if they can get anywhere in the region of 5, I think I'm pretty happy with that, all in all. This is still a CT-sided map, it has to be said, so it would be a good recovery for Monte, and it just, you know, maybe takes them a bit of time to get in towards the game. We do have that low buy. It's just the M4, really, is the only thing to be scared of. USP's around it, bit of a stack is what they're going for.
Barton up high, I like this. Oh, I like it when he hits shots like that as well. Really could make a big difference. We'll see, are they, you know, ready for the rest of the team? They might not even need to deal with the rest of the team, as Barton is doing all the work by himself. Hades trying to get in. There's so many players to get through. Surely, yeah, he just gets surrounded. Tries taking matters into his own hands. Dihar now 1 versus 3. I would say not entirely out of the realms of possibility, but it's that AWP that's been picked up, and Lasso will pin him to the back wall. Beautiful find.
Crosshair was on there for Dia. If he had maybe pre-fired, who knows? That could have been something ridiculous, especially the low player towards back pillar, but they're all things that are the ones, but not what we get. Execution wasn't quite there. The ones, again, another round 4 Legacy, guaranteeing a lead now as well. Very important for them on this CT side. And where we can start seeing them build, this is starting to get a little uncomfortable. Especially if there isn't that, you know, string of rounds here for Monte where they can build upon it. We're already getting to the latter stage of the half, and another pause to be called. Another chance to talk for Noron, I guess for Chucky on the other side, but I really don't feel Chucky has too much to say at the moment. That round really feels won by Barton. The fact that he gets away with a second, the spacing a little off there. Krasnow's got to be a bit closer on that peek around the corner. And it does just fall apart. And especially, of course, the bomb getting dropped there on the back of Hades. Chucky's loving it. 7-3. Penultimate round of the half. Neck is going to go for a bit of an underplay. Another area that Legacy have been trying to get a lot of control of all the way throughout. Dumal was getting really proactive earlier. This time, Neck is just going to wait to see if the chance comes to him. He's spammed in the toes. He should be dead to rights in a moment, especially if Dihar goes for any sort of a spam. He's playing anti. Crosshair trained as that smoke fades. It's about who spots who first. They are on each other. Mouse one of you. The Molotov might do the job, and thankfully finally the kneecap spotted and Neck is seen off.
Dihar not taking any chances at all. Krasnow, meanwhile, watching for the push, and it does indeed come. Well read. He has found a couple of kills in the B apartments from those bouts of aggression. Maybe it looks similar each time. All the same, Monte in the ascendancy, in the round-winning position, potentially. Going to take this over the line. They have to, really. 3 rounds is not enough out of their T side. Dihar feeling confident, quite a game for him, but still looking for the peaks. No shots landing. Barton, meanwhile, left alone once again. He does have some quick support on the way, but it's all a fake out. Takes a keen headshot. The AWP has to really stand strong here. Good for the first, maybe give him the respect. The one big thing they have, 25 seconds. The bomb is down at short, 2 in behind. So the only player that can really cross in and take it will be Krasnow. He is hella lucky that Sadzin got off that angle. I think if that kill came in, round was going to be over.
Look at Lato.
This could still be good. Lato in a good position. If he denies the bomb plant, it'd be a different story. Wasn't ready for Demka. So round is saved. That is by the teeth kind of stuff. Sadzin actually is still thinking about going for it. I thought maybe he'd move away. So hold on just a second. No information for him to work with, and a well-timed peek from Krasnow will see him off.
A little shaky there. Felt a little nervy for a moment, but seconds, it looked like they were very indecisive. Thankfully, Krasnow does get the luxury of that cross as Sadzin just looks away at the wrong moment. So, okay. Bit of a sigh of relief for Monte. That's one of those ones they're going to look back at and say they didn't realize how actually close that round felt. Dumal overextending there too. Same thing for Cave. I think Dumal's was more egregious. So, very nice no-scope. We didn't get to see that one, but nice shot. Doesn't make a difference in the end. Heading into the final round of the half, Monte, you've got up to 4. 4 is workable. 5 would be nice, and the buy isn't exactly bountiful for Legacy by any means. Triple M4. A Deagle and a 5-7. They have got fairly decent util to work with, and those 5-7s are always scary in the right hands. I'm not going to count it out just yet. But once again, going to be left over towards apartments as they're looking to set up for a B hit.
Something uncharacteristic here from Monte, a contact play with no info given across. Barton continues looking strong on this B bomb site. Great shot landed, surely got to get traded here, but he's slowed them way down. The rotations are going to move in quickly. That's all good though. The weaponry, of course, is pretty strong for Monte. Molotov keeps the rotators at bay, smoke to back it up.
Oh.
Could have been big in towards mid. K got his head on a swivel, however. Digits tapped in. Statsin closing the gap here with the 5-7, trying to catch a couple off guard. Quick headshots could make the difference. Meanwhile, in from behind, there is that timer. Demka uses it to his advantage, and keen finds in the end from Monte. Welcome back in, folks. We are once again pretty split down the middle, a slight lead for the Brazilian team. So we'll see if they can capitalize on that. Pistol gets going here, and of course this map expecting a bit better from Monte potentially. K starts off well here for the CT side. Maybe this is what they were waiting for. And Sadzin's got to be careful, right? He's sending the nades in, selling it. It's a weird sort of bait out play. Everyone moving through Palace to just try and throw them off the scent. And K certainly did not see that one coming. Flying Barton takes him down 4 versus 4 as the bomb gets planted.
Up close, Barton once more. Will get it as well before he gets clipped by Demka. Flash over, that'll give them a bit of CT control. 3 versus 3. Might be something here. Krass now, flying Glock of Sadzin. Finds him. And this feels like it's done. Dead in the water. Demka's got to do something. Spots just a pixel. It's not planted for them either. Legacy have got to make a move here. They've got to try and get up close. Sadzin, he will be the one to close it. Looked a little shaky there for a moment, especially because of that plant position. But he didn't back himself. If he had a kit, he might have actually stuck that. But not to be in that sort. So another pistol, though, coming through for the Legacy side. 2 for 2 here in pistols. We saw Monte go 2 for 2 in pistols in map 1. That netted in the map. And for Legacy, that's really important. Another buy, which is of the lower nature for the Monte side off the back of a lost pistol. So there will be an investment in towards the next round. Expectations, Legacy should get a pretty simple 9th.
Yeah, one would think so. I think Monte actually leaning away from the force buys, which is kind of cool to see. Oh, Doom out. Lucky to be alive. 2 HP remaining. Somebody got to try and finish him off here, I suppose. Deagle getting involved. Actually does some damage on the edge of the smoke. So do have to be careful, Legacy. In these kinds of rounds, I always say it's the first kill that can be the hardest, right? To just sort of get the feel. Where's the setup? What's the stack? They are actually headed towards the correct bomb site, it would seem. So they've got that going for them at the very least. But yeah, still got to watch it. Still got to watch it. Demka's gathering all the information right now.
Yeah, took a couple of pop shots as well. Try and catch somebody crossing over towards stairs. It won't work. Bomb goes down. We might have a bit of a look in here for Monte. Whilst at the same time, they probably don't want to feed, especially not towards a Mach 10. But Sadzin for 2, they line up. Pulls out the pistol as well, gets dropped by the Julies. It's not going to make a difference if we're being completely honest. The nade does so much damage too. And it will only be the one casualty that Legacy really have to care about. They're getting close to making this a 3-mapper. Very close indeed. Monte still not looking as sort of switched on. Definitely not as they were against MRBR, but even in towards the tail end of map 1 as well. That itself feels a little uncomfortable where we're at. Just a bit of concern here, hence why we once again see this tac pause get caught. Another reason why Nora wants to really emphasize just how important this sort of gun run is. I mean, basically, we're talking about if Monte loses, it could already be towards the point of saying maybe attention gets focused on towards Ancient already. You lose this gun round, that's Legacy probably getting all the way to around 11 rounds. You get the 10th, the 11th should be as well pretty guaranteed with the money broken, and at that point, sort of done and dusted. So yeah, you do need to be a little careful. This one very important for Monte. Lose this and we're under a hell of a lot of pressure. But it's not just a one-man show here for Legacy, which is I think the most important thing. That previous map, it was primarily all Doom out. We had moments of good rounds coming out from like Neckers, for example, but primarily it was just all Doom out doing the heavy lifting. This sort of showing so far is spread across the team. Only 4 kills between top and bottom. Dumo, another opening kill for him. 5-0 in opening duels now. This is a guy who's so happy to fight.
That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. So just as a thought as well, to try and go for that kind of play really does send Monte for a loop, I would feel. Big aggression coming in. Very, very scary indeed that he can get away with a play like that. So Monte have got to try and find a gap. We did see them on Anubis. They were pretty scared of aggressive CT plays. So I don't know that they're necessarily going to do anything too proactive here. Legacy, however, are kind of holding for that. And the bomb's in a really weird spot. Does eventually come in, but again, you can see, you know, Hades, he's just grabbing little bits. He's not going too deep. And as soon as the Brazilians start moving, he's already out of there. So the timing's quite good here for Legacy. Hades might not be ready for this one. Yeah, surprising peek towards Connector. Here's a lot of footsteps here as well. Got to try and stay alive. K goes down a bit too easily. Hades with decent damage. Just needed one more player to support him. Not going to happen. Legacy hit 10. The remainder of Monte will save And this is not the team we saw yesterday playing Mirage, to be honest with you. Like, they have completely fallen off.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to, against MRBR was just how good that T side was. And because it was a little lackluster for Monte, it's definitely a little concerning. That's for sure. Even with these 2 saves as well, I'm not too sure how fruitful this buy will actually end up being. They might even just try and go for a bit of a half buy around the 2-save M4s. Or with Monte, who've not got a lot left to lose, they might even try and gamble and just say, right, we've got to try and turn the tides here. We've got to try and find a round that's not expected to go our way and try and force into it. But yeah, they're in a tough spot, that's for sure. Krasnal, make sure not to peek here. He probably heard those steps in towards lower. Doesn't matter. Dumal, really good way to start things off. A relentlessly quick opening peak for him and a nice find, and it all just slots itself into place. Awkward Counter-Strike from Monte. And Demka, I can't even really blame him. That's a nice shot as well on towards K2, but it's just so good from Dumal. The level he can bring in towards the serve, I mean, what a player.
Yeah, there is certainly a lot of talent in the sort of South American region. Yes, Legacy playing in North America, whatever. But I think that trying to get them all together, trying to get it to work, and it seems like there's a little bit of backdoor politics that goes down. Maybe some players don't enjoy playing with others, or maybe you have to like earn your flowers as a young player, and if you don't have an opportunity to do that, how are you actually going to earn your flowers to ever get the call up to a bigger team, So you really have to be outlandish. And Dumal, there's nothing super flashy, but he remains ever consistent in this series. As soon as I say that, of course, 2 really clean headshots by himself. And he's just going. He's just not stopping, mate. He does not care. K spotted him out, but like, he doesn't really know what the hell is going on. Hades, M4 in hand. Ooh, try to make it happen. Hold on a second, because those are some nice kills. Hades hears them running off, but again, got to be careful. Neck is sticking around to try and take them out.
Yeah, it might catch the rotations, and at the same time, Monte might just save here too. Even though it's a weird 2 versus 3, the bomb goes down. They don't have a kit. They don't have a smoke. It feels like this retake's not got a lot of legs behind it. Nade and a flash. Hades is so low. I think we're probably just going for a save here. As much as, part of me wants to just say, just like a gamble.
Yeah, you're buying in the next.
Exactly. What have we got to lose here? But I think for them, they're in this sort of mindset of, percentage Counter-Strike, which at times is something that we don't see as much out of South American teams. Neckers will fall. So that will be an upgrade of 4K from the Galil to the AK. One you'll absolutely take. Legacy getting closer and closer, though. A shot from Hades. Needs to just stay alive, too. Spotted the gun barrel of the AWP. Sadsid takes a hell of a lot of damage, but he will stay alive. That's all that matters. 2 more rounds, though, for Legacy. Unfortunately, it's been just very kind of lackluster Counter-Strike. There's nothing really we can actually say for Monte. Legacy aren't even doing anything too special.
Yeah, they're not in the game. They're really just not in the game. Very, very flat, and at times they're being outmaneuvered by like a 5v4 that comes in early. At other times you've got players like Dumal just doing what he did in the previous round. Yes, it's against a lower buy, but still just individually outmatched as well. So it's a bit strange to see. I think Monte, although they enjoy the Mirage, it would seem, and pick into it a fair bit, it still does feel inconsistent.
It does.
I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but maybe part of their methodology is having, a few of their secondary maps also look pretty good and pretty confident. Mirage, something they're trying to actively work on. It's obviously a very, very good map to have in your repertoire, and I think particularly, as we've talked about quite a bit over the past year, it's a very good upset potential map for the bigger teams that you may well play in your career. Hades to open up, though. Good to see. An aggressive peak flash over the top. Drops back. Clean as you like.
Dumal. Open hand for him. Wants to try and catch the trade to bring the numbers back level. He'll bound around that corner. Doesn't do us a lot of damage towards the air, but we'll still kind of try and force him away. Another pop shot. Dumal. So active. Loves just getting a lot of space on the server when he's on this T side. He's so hard to pin down of where he actually plays out most often. Previous round, double entry on towards A. This time, Mid-lower in now towards B-Apps. Bomb not committed, so they're probably going to go off if they can get a kill. Hades himself has a reposition, a good spot to try and play out from. If they don't flash him off either, he should get a pretty easy opening fight here. It's really easy to duck your head away. Keep an eye as well on Diha and Sadzin. Obviously for this round, they gave Dumal the AWP here, and Sadzin's still wielding the rifle. And despite him being low, they haven't abided by Bogdan's law because they've not been near each other to trade back over. So Dumal got to do a bit of the heavy lifting on the sniper, but Hades gets the first, gets the second.
Yeah, such an unbeatable angle as well. You need a bit of a flash over the top to just put that AWP under pressure. They had plenty available, maybe didn't want to give themselves away. Dumal feeling confident, why wouldn't he? Great game, great series out from him, of course. Just going to be a save here. So, Legacy, let this one fall. It's a blip. It's all good. They can bounce back in the next. Plenty of cash to do so.
Exactly. Worrying that it takes, 5 rounds of play to finally get a round out for Monte. The question marks is this enough? And the answer is obviously no, right? But if we maybe see a bit of consistency and maybe see something come up for Monte, we can talk about them on the resurgence. But Legacy is so close to the finish line and so close to pushing this towards the decider. I just don't know whether Monte have enough in them. It's been very, very lackluster. Very unfortunate the way the CT side has kind of panned out for them. Like you mentioned, that could just be a very simple blip and Legacy come right back into it. Plenty of money to buy back in. No issues there. So I don't think there's going to be too many worries. Barton, this time it looks like he's going to be that first contact towards ramp. Hades posted up for it. Last round won more or less off the back of him. Can he do it once again? Right spot, right place, right fight. Barton caught. Dumal trade though on towards Case. He looks for a second and he'll get it. Oh, Dumal, such a special player in this series. And at times it does really feel like it is just a one-man army and a one that's punching well above his weight.
Yeah, that's rough, man. I mean, the setup, it felt like it was there. We needed Hades on the flash. Maybe though, the retake is on. Sadzin low, Dumal known about. He's looking for yet another ace. No nades to flush him out. Dink damage does come in, but it's, minimal dink damage. There you go. He eventually will fall. The AWP somewhat known about. They're trying to pressure the bomb here. Diha got to get a move on, however. Got to get on that bomb. They've both got kits. Still, it's somewhat risky. Left down to the 1 versus 1. Can he find it through the smoke? Always the AWP, but Sadzin locks in the heat-seeking missile. Will win the round in the 1v2. And I said, no, they didn't give themselves enough time. They let him play how he wanted.
Oh, well played from Sadzin. Well played indeed. And he had, half a second, maybe even not even that. Fantastic work from him. And a big 1 versus 2. Monte under the pressure, the time, whatever you want to call it, does not work out for them. 12-6, Legacy on track to pushing it towards that Ancient, that decider. And all these question marks about where has Monte gone, we still have yet to have them answered. They are a no-show here on their map pick a Mirage. And Sadzin, well, he's been relatively quiet this series, but he's picked his moment to come alive, that's for sure.
It really does just sum up the journey here for Monte, unfortunately. It has not been their map. They have also not looked their best selves. I think that what feels like a very simple 1 versus 2 clutch, you've still got some flashes and smokes left, goes completely sideways.
Yeah, and the ramifications of losing that as well are just massive.
Nice trade out. 2 towards short, certainly unexpected. They try and abuse the B-bomb site here as flashes will come in, but Krasnal's in a good position quite quickly. Yeah, just not expecting him to be back here this fast since his presence on short. Still an even situation, still the AWP in play. Krasnal keeps going wild. That one may be a bit too much, the bridge too far. K is here. Can he stop the bomb plant? He has been heard now by the Flames. The bomb doesn't really have space to get in towards the site, unfortunately, but heads still roll. Hades, yeah, he's like, oh, wait, no, I can't save. Trying to go for it, will go down, and Legacy have indeed done it. The energy picks up, and a great showing coming in from that man right there. Number 23, Michael Jordan on the server potentially. Unfortunately for Monte, they could not match up, and they will continue this series out with the third map going to be required.
Yeah, brilliant from Dumal. Really, just what a player, man. He just continues to be such a
tournament. I think that everyone was like, okay, they got here in good fashion, but shouldn't really do too much. And so far, they've, put a lot of pressure on some really good teams. The Julies up close, however, caused big problems as the round gets very quickly underway. Dumal left on 1 HP. There's a team kill in there. So this is not a good look for Legacy. They've had to back off and go for something different.
Yeah, not what you want to start things off as well. We've already seen how important the pistol rounds are. Monte 2 for 2 in pistol rounds in map number 1, win the map. Legacy 2 for 2 in pistol rounds in map number 2, win the map. So already those things really help out. Sanzin, yeah, I was going to say, I think he might have been spotted there, and he was. Has a flash, but K wants nothing to do with that. He's out of there. And both flashes used for Sanzin to try and get a bit of lane control. There's no one there to even meet, and Monte are more than happy to give up that space over towards the T side. Where do we actually want to go is the awkward thing. We have the bomb, sure, on kind of the back here of Nekkers, but even finishing is going to be quite difficult. Nekkers takes a tag, down he goes, and Demka for a double. Tapping away and leaving Sadson with it all to do. Dinks Diha when it gets dropped, and it ends up being a flawless pistol to start things off. That's exactly the way Monte had to respond coming in towards his map number 3. That's the way to kickstart things.
Yeah, always a cliche one to go with, but this very much feels like a series where you have to do it. The best of one, that's all this comes down to, right? Forget about the history, forget about what's happened, and you're playing Ancient. You know, you're just playing Ancient, that's all that matters. Playing the game, playing the rounds, not the occasion, as they like to say in football, of course. So I think that has to be the way we look at it here. Monte with a keen start, a good buy. They are going to be fending off against the Force now.
Krasno up close. Yeah, that Force buy on the T side. Interesting they go for that. No kills, no bomb plant, but wanted to hope that the Tech9s can do something in this sort of a round. This is normally the prime time to call for a bit of a quicker play and overwhelm somebody. And that somebody is Demko, who does 4K under a bit of pressure as well. But double dips and gets a double kill as Diha will add to the tally. Crossing that range with the MP9. And Monte make relative light work out of that force buy. Not a lot for Legacy to fall back on. And with the force buy means nothing to work with here in towards the next. So Monte take 2 and should get a 3-0 start.
It's a clean start. It's a very, very clean start indeed. So this is the map that, you did highlight a little bit, that there's kind of a win streak coming in. It should be a solid look, but Legacy going to have to try and find a way back round in the first buy. Maybe the pistols will get them going, in all fairness. Not a bad find. If they can get one more here, it would be a really nice round for them, actually.
Yeah, it's true. There's some pretty decent teams that Monte have beaten as well on this map as part of their streak. The two in particular that kind of, I look at Paravision being one of them. They're not a bad side. And the big one being, ironically, big. They're the side they took down 13-9 not even that long ago. And definitely a pretty big team to scalp. So already, that's where for Monte, there's a lot to fall back on. And even before that as well, it was a map that at one point was actually quite a big weakness in the pool that they're having a lot of problems with. We've seen them in the past put up really good victories too. Took down Ends 13-1 at the RMR close quals. And ultimately, of course, ended up not making it through. That loss to Bait, which was on this map as well. Cost on that spot. Krasno lines up to very fortunate. The Molotov ticks up towards Dumal, so he's now a known quantity as well. Another bad start in towards a round 4 Legacy, already down to 3.
Sadsin does have a good position here on the contact up ramp, but it is getting less and less effective as his teammates fall around him. Goodness me, barely any damage done, let alone the kills. There's the one for Sadsin. He did indeed make that position work, but it doesn't matter. Too many bodies to get through. Not a good start. Immediately, all right. Shaking of the head, shaking of the head. Trying to contain the emotions, but it is difficult in a situation like this. Your tournament life is on the line.
It's very true. You're very, very right. Krasno does super well here. Gets that first, lines them both up. One was already super tagged, but a third on top of it. you know, he's had quite a slow series. No two ways about it for Krasnov, so it's important to see him, you know, getting pretty hyped up early, finding great kills in his favor. And for Legacy, they've had some tough times. Before MIBR, yesterday, he had struggled on this map. Losses to Heroic, M80, but I think most importantly, NRG, right? 13-3. I don't value that NRG tide all too highly either. Krasnov, good for the first batter as much as he will get. A lot of damage dealt. There might be a bomb plant out here as well for Legacy, which is something they'll absolutely take, but it will be costly, that's for sure. Down goes Sadzin. Dumal's already basically dead at this point as well. Yes, he's got an AK, but I can't expect all too much. And the tech now more of the same. A Constellation kill, a Constellation plant. Another round for Monte very quickly up to a 5-0 start. This is looking very similar to what Legacy did on Mirage.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. I think getting off to that keen start, as well as we've said, is very, very important, but it's also just difficult to bounce back from. Having a little chat in the old green room there. It can be hard in CS2 if you cannot get your claws in early. The game can be won or lost in the early stages. And you really have to find the energy, find the rounds, maybe out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's not an easy thing to do, again, particularly for a team that has less experience at this international level. What do you draw upon? Who do you turn to in this team to give you that speech or give you that idea that you hadn't thought of?
Doesn't help as well when you're seeing Dumal go 0-5. Especially because even when they lost map number 1, he was still putting up incredible numbers. If he then quiets down, that's when you really worry for Legacy. Not that he's sort of required for a win, but he very much helps. Hades, a lot of Utah will make his positioning towards Donut a little weak. Flash comes down and nade on towards the smoke, but Dia opting not to fight all too much behind this, and they're going to creep up towards Red Room. So he needs to be a bit careful, and he actually will get some support here. Hey, going to come over for a brief moment, then doubles back towards B. Flash in. Hades in trouble. Could be in a lot of trouble. The fact that he even repositioned himself for a second chance at it is something, but it doesn't work in his favor.
Really nice flash, of course, to get that going. Dihar is here quickly. Demka is up top. They don't expect him. Shadow spotted everywhere, and he's trying to cover himself off. However, the orb does get braver than expected. Sadzin finds himself alone in this situation. He's thinned the Monte numbers, but it is not going to be easy. Dihar eats the nade. He's given this a good old try. He just doesn't quite know where this last player is. It's not a hop, skip, and a jump. Maybe he's heard a step. Crass now with the peak, and Dihar's just been spotted there. Sadzin's got control of this situation now. Both of them super, super low. Who's going to come out on top? Sadzin trying to find the headshot. Dihar not giving him the peak. Slow creep around. Dihar's just moved off the angle, spotted out, and finished off. It's a 1v4 from Sadzin.
What a round. What a round from him. Sadzin's done so damn well there. The first, fair enough, back turned, he was under a bit of pressure. The second's a nice shot. The third behind it is a good clearance. He swapped from the AWP to the AK and gets the fourth on top. Really great round from Sadzin. They needed a hero there, that's for damn sure. And he picks his moment, and he picks it mighty well. And especially after how it started for Monte, losing a round like that is never what you want to see. I think maybe Krasnow's going to do a little bit better. Dihar was just low here. So the spam is enough. But Sadzin's done super well. Nice sigh of relief, but that can be the round that could change the ties just a little bit. He's the only one stepping up so far. He's 6-5. Next in his team is Neckers, 1-6. Alongside Lato, alongside Bartin. Still Dumal yet to frag. So of course times are tough here, but a first round of the board might give them something. The only issue with a round like that being at your first is the ultimate thing is that sort of a round replicable? No, you can't bank on Sadzin to get a 1v4 time and time again. Monte won't let those mistakes continue to creep through. But a quicker round here.
Yeah, Legacy refining themselves potentially. They have opted to go for that quick A execute. It's not too far out of left field, of course, and the A-bomb site, famously, infamously, you might say, retakeable. On this map, Dihar, it was open for him, but he couldn't quite find the shots down range. Hades tagged up slightly. That's the only bit of damage that we've seen. Got to be careful here. Neck is on the edge of the smoke. They both got nades out. They both got nades out. Oh my god, throw them or get a gun out or something. Neck is trying to make the hero play. Unfortunately, the flashes are so damn good Demka's made his way in behind. It's a 4 versus 2, and Neck is trying to be the danger man. He's given it his best shot. It's another clutch up for Sadzin. This one's slightly easier in terms of the numbers. Try and get the player off the bomb, but he can't get past Krasnal. It's a close defuse, but Monte get it.
Yeah, incredibly close there. It has to be said. Right down to the wire, because that swing was nearly looking for the kill. I think even if he got the kill, there was more than enough time to make that one work. Monte 6-1 in a very pacey fashion. He arguably could have done a little bit more, little to no, but if he had just pushed that smoke, you were talking about 2 players at Utilal. He could have lined both of them up. Not to be. 6-1, back to winning ways, of course, for Monte, which is all that they care about. Tapping away, spamming away. Then they could do a nice bit of chunk on top, and yeah, Neck is going to get caught by the HE. That's the start. Nice work from Demka. Barton's going to get dinked as well. Then he'll fall to the hands of K. This is carnage. Lato allowed to back, but Krasnal will trade. What is happening? Legacy are getting overwhelmed here.
Dumao deep in mid, but it's not really going to have too much of an effect. They know where he's at now. Hades takes him down. That's one of the puggier rounds I think we've seen all series long. Many attempts from many different players on the Legacy side of things, but they have lost their way, maybe lost their heads, lost the bottle, and potentially losing the game.
Yeah.
Not over quite yet, so can't use the past tense, but all the same, that's not a very nice round to witness if you are a fan of the Legacy side. And I believe a timeout being taken here, but not quite sure. Neck is not talking too much. There you go. He'll sort of start chiming in. Maybe Chucky behind them is being more vocal member. But this looks dire. Very, very dire. Yes, things on Mirage went well for them. Yes, Monte was struggling, but not this much, man.
It's true.
We've had the one miracle round come their way, and beyond that, not an awful lot. Even, yes, in all this carnage, it was still a lot more kills going the way of the CT side.
Good to see that, at the very least, Dumar gets off the board. He was 0-7 coming in towards that round. Not exactly that much better being 1-8, though. This Legacy side are looking lackluster, to say the absolute least. They're in a bit of a damned position. They've got to get going. Krasnal, he gets teammated by Demko. What has happened there? In the Molotov of Sadzin, I think it's naded by Demka. That's pretty awkward. I think he's trying to blow open the smoke, but it doesn't work. Barton gets one more, and this low buy might be on for something here.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, these are the classic rounds, aren't they? We'll see. Ooh. They maybe bite off a bit more than they can chew, however. Pushing forward towards...
Good smoke.
The back of box, and it does go sideways. Smoke is pretty nice as well. Going to split them apart, Dumao and Lato. The only that remain, Lato tries to be the hero. Dumao, I think, they're going to have a good idea of where he's at. They definitely know that he's there now. He's trying to get him off the bomb. Does find one, does find two, but it's not the player that he needs. The round is lost. The damage is good, but Legacy, I don't know, 5v3, I think it's winnable from there. They just went a bit too far.
They overextend. They just don't need to fight. They should have shelled up on towards the site and just waited for the fights to come to them, but it's not to be. And Legacy find themselves 1-8. Awkward spot there. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I mean, at the very least, they made something out of a really uncompetitive round, but flying through the smoke like that off the back of a CT flash as well, definitely not what you wanted. All, well and good that Dumar gets a couple of kills, but it's not making a difference really at all. 1-8. I mean, already Monte saying 8-round CT side, that's already more than good enough in most scenarios. And there could even be more behind this, but these are such quick rounds from Legacy. I feel like we're at 1-8 within sub 10 minutes at this point, and there's just no room to breathe for Legacy. They're not giving themselves time to actually converse about what is going wrong. Continue just pushing the gas and hoping that something will change.
Monte, though, they like this round. They like the position that it comes in, right, and understanding how key of a swing it could be for Legacy. So they have also pulled off not giving any early fights at all, playing the safe info game. DR doesn't even, dispose of his smoke there, just keeping things really, really close to their chest. There is a lack of utility for the CT side now going into the final 45 seconds. Ooh. Bare minimum for Legacy. We've got one end of the smoke is K, the other end is Lato. Both watching for each other. Krasnal, however, is close to the action. Could get the trade, doesn't matter. K takes it. It's a big old kill. Dihar finds the lurker on the other side of the map. And now, all of a sudden, they try and break into B, but it's not going to work. Sadzin remains consistent, remains in the clutch. The nade leaves him on 6 HP. He is not going to find this. He's going to try and exit, but even that will be tough. He just makes it out.
Surely we hunt.
They are after him. He's not far enough away just yet. Taking another with him. He's got to be very careful here that he doesn't go down after time. So if he's exiting, he's got to go now. And yeah, he was cut off by Dihar. Nice positioning from him, denying that gun save away. But my goodness, again, nothing in it. Those kills, worthless.
Yeah, exactly. They don't make any sort of impact at all. 9-1. What a display from Monte. Where was this on Mirage as well? I mean, even to be said, where was this on Anubis? I mean, they didn't look this clean. Maybe makes arguments that the map pool might need to change a little bit. I know they love picking in towards that Mirage, but when you've got a map as strong as this in your back pocket, it also makes you question, Legacy, why have we let this through? I mean, Legacy banned out that nuke to let it come here. But nuke's not been a bad map for Legacy. I mean, it's pretty good for Monte too. I mean, this is the good thing with Monte. They've got such a strong map pool. The fact that it's gone towards an Ancient, obviously, with hindsight, is obviously looking very good. K spam the smoke. Barton gets dropped, and already this penultimate round not looking very good for Legacy. Already down to 4. They don't even have a lot of Utah. We've got 2 smokes, 2 flashes. That's it.
Let it sit for a moment as Legacy make an attempt to reaggress. Hades ready and waiting here with the AWP. He does get smoked off. Good timing on the nade. He's, however, not watching the right side, or the correct side, I should say.
Because I guess he was watching the right side.
Yeah, technically speaking. And I know there'll be somebody out there who will try and
furiously
catch me off. They like doing that all the same. Legacy, not much in this for them. They've also, you know, not found the correct angle quite yet.
Yeah, it's true. Bomb. He is heading in the direction of A. Of course, this angle from Demka's so strong. They spot the shadows first before they even get the chance to swing. That's if he holds for it. Not opting for it. Yeah, there you go. Shadow spotted. Easy for the first. Oh, the second as well with the transfer. What a lineup. What a find. Sadzin may get 1. But he's got to pull off yet another 1 versus 4. The first is there. Time is ticking. Bomb collected. Cannot be planted. Hades, other ideas. Monte get double digits in the first half. And Legacy, they're about to quite unceremoniously bow out of this one.
A dangerous look. A very, very dangerous look indeed. I feel like the double digits has surely got to be enough at this point, of course. Really, really troublesome stuff coming in from the Brazilian side. They have absolutely disappeared on a map that, again, felt comfortable, but I don't know what is happening here. T side not got off the ground. And look, 10-1 is a pretty bad scoreline, but just also the way that the rounds are going down. We've seen Sadzin in the clutch, in quotation marks, like 5 times. He won 1 of them, so they're like, listen, man, it's the only way we can win rounds. We've got to keep putting him in the clutch. 1v4, 1v5. So yeah, that really speaks to the fact that they've just not had a look in pretty much in any of the rounds, to be honest. Hades keeps his consistency up on that AWP. Dihar, however, having a much better game, of course. He will also make himself known on that A-bomb site. They are scared away. And they are left with the impossible situation once again.
Already down to 3. It just feels like there's surely no chance there. Double Galil, and 1 Mac-10, and a double flash to try and save them from Grace here. It looks like they're going to be swung upon in just a mere moment as well. Hades clearing the left-hand side. He will get the trade as well. All down to 1 man. And sure, he gets D here, but from behind, spotted out. And that will be that. K sees it off. 11-1 first half. This one might be quick. We'll see if there's any recovery out from Legacy in the second half.
I came in the league, went straight for the title. No time to idle. I finna get it, put that on a Bible. This is survival. Gotta treat every move like the final. 1 by a mile. Nobody believe it, they all in denial. Hey, look at me, look at me. Still in the show, that's the crook in me. They want me gone with the hook in me. Asking why is he here like I shouldn't be. I've been on grind since Auto. 10,000 hours the motto. They see the bag is coming out and flocking to me like I won the lotto. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Thought they be scheming and said adios. Yeah, I gotta get it. Get it, don't mindset. Ay, back with a vengeance, back on the grinds, back to the business. Ay, God is my witness, they watching my moves like shows they binging. Ay, best keep distance, all of my haters send best of wishes. I get to the bag with the quickness, no, I don't need no assistance, no. Yeah, no playing it safe. I said let's get it, you say not today. What can I say? You ain't gon' go for it, get out the way. Got no time to waste. Can't be with me if you're not at my pace. You're not at my level, you're not in my race. One foot on the gas, I'm pushing the brakes. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Saw they be scheming and said adios. Yeah, I gotta get it. Get it, don't mindset. I gotta get it, don't mindset. I gotta get it, don't mindset.
Within the body of a woman lies the heart of a man. It's a feat of engineering you could never understand. So tell me all your secrets and I'll tell you all my lies. I've been walking with the angels, I've been talking in my sleep. An electric conversation, pins and needles in my feet. It's a full-on fascination.
A swift finish and a place in the semi-finals is what Monte are looking for here, and I think they might just get it. 11-1 after that first half. The story tells itself. Legacy will have to pull off another miracle here if they are to come back. They have had a tough run of things at this tournament, a few people against them. They've silenced some of the haters, but not quite all. Monte, the final hurdle.
Alan's chuckling like the Joker in the green room right now, as it's all coming to plan for him. 11-1, and it might be over before it even begins if Monte can get a strong T-side pistol here. Demka for the first as Sadsin drops. That's the A-site taken already, and the bomb will go down to follow it. There's nothing Legacy can do to stop this.
They do have the kit. They do have the flash, so they're going to have to find the heads if they wish to complete this retake. K ready and waiting. Shadow spotted here. Oh, that's a little rough. It's actually Krasnal that kind of bails him out. He will just remain the distraction, however, which I think is his primary job. Still not the cleanest. Still feel like his position, that information would have been enough for him to work with. Kit is in action. Tap onto the bomb. Try and draw them out. Lato with some difficult fights. He's going to be left all alone to do it here. Not a lot of time at all. Yeah, they just have to, you know, bait him out. First one peeks in, maybe gives his life, but they know that he's not holding. And that will be that. 12 secured as Monte have 11 in a row to close this series out.
Feels like this one should be pretty easy. I think it's safe to say. And one of the very, very few times I can say, CT4 is probably good here, I reckon. More often than not, not a fan, but Legacy, I mean, absolute no-show here in towards map number 3. And it's unfortunately just been really, really tough to watch. Legacy have had absolutely no look in. An absolute light work for Monte. Smiles across their faces. They are loving life. We get a couple of MP9s, a FAMAS, A Deagle and a 5-7. This one feels done, and Dust, unless something special can happen. Hades for the first. Oh, and Demka for a double as well. It looks like it's going in favor of Monte, but a couple of kills might give them a chance here. The only issue is the remaining two of Monte have not taken any damage.
All shadow spotted. Yeah, Dumao does make quick work of K there. Man, these shadows on Ancient, they make a big difference these days, don't they? D-Heart. Creeping in. Could get away with it. Nice clean shot onto Nekis. Just one more remaining then. He's not got that bomb, he's not got that plan, but he's got plenty of time. So Dumao has to hope that he gets the positional drop and can land the shot, but D-Heart will get it done. The HP makes the difference. Hell of a finish. Monte have indeed done it. It's an anticlimactic end. We were hoping for something competitive after a series like that, but Legacy, they disappeared. They did not know how to deal, and well, it is this time Monte that will take the decisive victory.